I spent the last few years reviewing every CarPlay AI box that OneCarStereo makes. So what exactly is it? Well, it basically turns your infotainment system into an Android tablet. But this HE Pro Ultra introduces several features I haven't seen packaged together before. And I'm going to test this exactly the way that I think that most buyers will. Compatibility, speed, streaming, HDMI in, HDMI out, DVR, cameras, connectivity, and everyday usability. Welcome back to Donslife and welcome to the channel. Let's go. So today we're going to look at pretty much everything that comes in the box, but we're also going to look at some of the accessories that you can also add to the HE Pro Ultra CarPlay AI box. So here we have three ways to connect to the internet. You can use a physical SIM card, you can use a cloud SIM, or you can use your phone's hotspot. But there's actually a fourth. If your vehicle has internet connectivity, you can use that and use its Wi-Fi signal to connect this device to the internet. Now the one I'm reviewing is the FIFA edition, so it's got this little logo right here. You may order one and it doesn't have that, but we do have a lot of different connections on here. Starting here, we have our audio video input. So that would be a camera as an example. Next to it, we have our USB-C connector. That's going to be used to communicate with your infotainment system. So you would connect the USB-C to USB-C or USB-C to USB-A to your infotainment system to have wired CarPlay, talk to your infotainment system, and then activate the box. Now, in the event that you have any problems with the box staying on, it might be because you require extra power to run it. So by connecting to an auxiliary connector like this, I can give it extra power as well as interface with my infotainment system. So this is packaged in the box and most people have one of these kicking around. Now rotating to the next side, we also have our SD card input right here, as well as a pinhole reset button and some indicator lights. Let me explain what this does. Earlier I mentioned this requires a wired connection to your infotainment system. So putting a pin in here will switch your default connection from wired CarPlay to wired Android Auto. Just rotating around here, we have ventilation, and on this side we have our HDMI in and HDMI out. That's right, we can now connect HDMI compatible devices to this and have a display on our infotainment screen. Rotating further, we have more ventilation, which we also have ventilation on the bottom. And then this is where our SIM card would go, should we choose to install one. And that's that. Let's go put it to use. All right, so this is the first dashboard. The first time you plug it in, this is the dashboard or the layout that I was greeted with. The one thing I changed was the background. This is the dashboard. So we have our Google Maps right here. We have some shortcuts for frequently used apps. We have our internet connectivity there. And then we have our Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and so on. I'm going to go to all the apps right here, and we're going to go through a bunch of these, maybe not all of them, but a bunch of the important ones. First, if we go to settings, we can go over to display settings, and then we can change our launcher styles. We have 4 options. This was number 4. There's also style 1, 2, and 3. So if we go to style 1, it's going to reset the box, and it's going to greet us with a completely different dashboard. We'll just wait for this to load up. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, it's rebooting. So this is dashboard 1. Let's switch it over to another option. So dashboard or launcher style. This is launcher number 2. So we're going to go to style 3. So this one didn't require a reboot to go from 2 to 3, but I suspect if we go back to 1 or launcher 4, it's going to do a reboot. So we're going to go back. I'm going to pick launcher 4 because that was the one that I'm used to using, as I've been using this unit for a couple days now. So we'll go back to 4. It's going to reset. Okay, we're back to launcher number 4. Now let's check out some of the entertainment options. All right, we are going to start with YouTube. Pick a video. I'll turn it up a little bit here.
And we're about to try and attempt to rebuild it in 24 hours. Everyone knows that the best cars come with a naturally aspirated V12 engine.
So you can see YouTube works just fine. Audio will be delayed a little bit. That's just the nature of all of these communication devices. Video and audio aren't always in sync. The audio just lags behind a little bit. Not much we can do, and it's going to vary depending on the vehicle that it's connected to. Let's pick another one here. Let's pick Amazon Prime. So I showed you an example of streaming content with YouTube, but what you can also do with this, you can download media and you can save it to the memory on the device or a micro SD card.
The whole day was you get to drive the sports car. It was a Nissan.
So obviously I'm a car guy because I keep playing car content, but that just shows you that Amazon Prime works just fine. Of course, we'll check out Netflix.
I need that bed.
Why?
Because I need it.
Why? because if someone were to break in here in the middle of the night wanting to murder us, they would attack this.
So you can see Netflix works as it should. And then of course we have other apps on here like TikTok. We have VLC. This is a media player. I'll play some content I put on a micro SD card just for demonstration purposes. We'll just skip ahead a little bit here.
Resume training.
So there are just some examples of various entertainment apps that come pre-installed. So we have two camera options here, and their applications couldn't be more different. They connect the same way, but their intent and how they function are different. So starting with this one here, you can see it looks like a camera, but it's got this attachment at the end. You unthread these knobs here, and this bottom piece separates, and then you can reclamp it and tighten it up again. Any guesses what it's for? Some of you might have got it. It is a baby cam. So let me show you how it would connect. So most headrests have these posts. So you can see the posts here. I've already extended this into the upright position. Those posts would usually fit in an opening this large. That's where that would connect, and it would point backwards to wherever your baby may be seated. This is where my grandson is seated. He's 1 year old. We'd like to be able to see him, but I got this screen in the way. So for this vehicle specifically, this won't really work that well. We could try and figure out a different way of mounting it, but that is what this is for. So if you're gonna order this accessory, just understand that this is for one of these posts, and maybe look at it in advance to see if it is something that would connect properly to your vehicle. We could probably sneak it under here somewhere, but I think it would be partially obstructed by the screen. And this one here is like your everyday run-of-the-mill dash camera. Point it where you want it to point, whether it be out the back window, in the cabin, or out the front window, and plug it in, and you should be able to see whatever it sees. So the Air Mouse Bluetooth remote is an optional accessory. It just adds some convenience. You can navigate through the different menus in the screen and the different apps. You can see a bunch of the buttons here that allow you to do that. I tried it out, and it works as you would expect. So we're going to plug in the dash cam or interior camera wherever you decided to place this and just see how it works. It plugs in right next to the USB cable, and then this camera should now be active. So we could put it up on our windshield on the left or the right, and then it rotates around the adhesive just to get the right angle of your windshield. Or you could put it in the cab and have it facing inwards, like I have a camera right there on my dash cam. So I'm not going to reinstall this one right now because I have a dash cam doing that job, but I could put it there or in the back window facing outside. But let's just see how it works on the screen here. So we just have to find the app. There it is, DVR. The camera is on, you see a green light, and there you can see it's on screen. So if we had it up in the front window area, we'd be able to see out like that. I have the hood up right now because I am charging the battery at the same time that I'm using the accessories in the vehicle so the battery doesn't die. But what's more important is our settings. That we have options like 720p resolution and 1080p, which I'm on right now. We can choose our display to stretch out and fit or keep the original aspect ratio. We can flip the footage. So depending on how this camera is oriented, we can adjust the footage to match it properly so it looks correct. So you can adjust with all those settings here. You can change your loop recording just like a dash cam would be. So for all intents and purposes, this is essentially a DVR or dash cam. So kind of neat. You just need a micro SD card to save your footage. Let me demonstrate split screen here. So let's go onto an app such as YouTube, and then we're going to play a video. Now when I use my little shortcut button here, see this little icon I can drag wherever I want to leave it? Well, I'm going to leave it right there just so you can see it. Now when I click on that, I get all these shortcut options. We're going to go to split screen, and now let's put YouTube as one of the split screen items, and we're going to use Google Maps. So now they're split screen. What's really cool is I can keep this on and this on at the same time, but I can adjust the ratio. But you can see wherever I leave it, it stays there. Maybe I don't want to have to go through this manual process. So let me show you something. So if I go to the app for split screen, I have the different ratios already set up here. Let's just say I want a 50-50 split. Here I can pick what I want. So let's do the same ones. Let's pick Maps and let's pick YouTube. And then I can save it. And now it's saved this as a shortcut where Maps and YouTube are going to be paired together in that 50-50 split. So then I can go add to home screen, and there it is right there. So now when I press this, it'll load both of the apps, and then it will combine them into a split screen. So there we go. So the video is just playing down here. So all the same controls, just showing you how you can use split screen to your advantage. And I swapped them right there. So pretty neat stuff. These controls up here are your AI assistant. You have the ability to open up the apps here to quickly close them, and then the circle button simply takes you back to the home screen, and then back just takes you back within the app that you're already in. So if I was in YouTube here and I hit back, then it's going to bring me back to YouTube's main screen and bring me back further and further until it gets out of the app. Next, we'll do a demonstration with HDMI outputting from an iPhone. So you are going to have to use this adapter just to make the HDMI connection smaller. Then you're going to grab the box, you're going to find the HDMI Input, which is the one on the left. And yes, there's a up and down, a right side up and a down. Then you're going to plug it into your device. So I'm just going to show some pictures to start with. Here's a picture of my car. And then we're going to find the HDMI app right here. Right now it's at 1080p. So there is the HDMI output of my phone. So you can see how that's interacting on the screen here. And then my phone still controls the content. So here's a video where we're building a pool in the backyard, and I'm just double checking to make sure everything's plumb. So kind of neat. That's HDMI output on a phone. Why don't we try something different, like a laptop? So here's an example of me mirroring the screen from my MacBook. Now instead of mirroring the display, I'll extend the display. So now I have a second desktop here. So I could have one app playing here, maybe a video, and my passenger could be working on something right here. So if you want to be really entertained, yes, you can hook up your game consoles to this. Right now we have a Nintendo Switch connected. So we'll just pick some content here and play it. So right here, my daughter can sit back, or anybody could sit back and play a Switch game while the driver gets to drive. So all your passengers can be entertained. All right, I'm just going to do a quick overview of some of the remaining apps. Obviously you have your settings. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time there. This app here is your Android Auto or CarPlay wireless connection. So it's just the app that's going to manage those wireless connections to the actual device itself versus doing Android Auto or CarPlay to your vehicle. So we can get out of here. Next you have Google Chrome. So you have a full web browser just like you would expect. You have your gallery here for all your photos and media that happen to be saved on your device or on the SD card. We have the Google Play Store, so you can download a bunch of apps here and put them on the device. Some are going to work better than others. Not all of these will be optimized for a CarPlay AI box experience. You have Bluetooth phone connection, Google Maps most people are familiar with, a messaging app, contacts, phone, split screen we talked about, Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, system update. So this is nice because you can do free over-the-air updates right on the box. Let's see if we are up to date. We are up to date, so no worries. As long as we have an internet connection, we can do updates with convenience. This Find Apps is actually from the manufacturer, at least it appears to be. It's going to be optimized applications for this device. So for example, if I wanted to do OBD2 diagnostics, I can install the Torque app, which I'm actually familiar with. As long as I have a Bluetooth OBD2 reader paired with this device, I can do health checks on my vehicle, figure things out, and diagnose any issues that I might have through that app. So just an example of some of the apps that are available for this unit. So we already have this installed. This is controlling our camera for the dash cam, just as an example. So this right here is a safety feature. You use your phone as digital key, and it will lock or unlock your HE Pro Ultra box. A lot of people will like that because on these boxes, a lot of times you're logged into apps and you want to make sure that's kept safe and secure. So this is a way of ensuring that. The camera app we already talked about. This is online help essentially from the manufacturer. This here is an AI drive chat feature, so it's more hands-free. I didn't really have a chance to play with this. I'm not really big into these AI assistants anyway. So today's weather, turn on AI LED, and other prompts that you can set up with Drive Chat. This icon here takes you back to your home screen, so all your original infotainment screen views are there. Hit CarPlay again. Now I'm back into the HE Pro Ultra. We have an APK installer. What makes this unique is the way that it's set up to not just go out on the internet and help you find APKs to install. Yes, you can still do that, but this here has these APKs that came with your device already ready to go, the optimized versions to work on this device. So here they are. If you delete one by accident, you can reinstall it. So simplicity. We have our HDMI input. We also have HDMI output, so you can output whatever is on the AI box will show to any external HDMI devices. Maybe you have rear screens in the vehicle. This would be an example of how to project that information to the rear screens. We have our LED controls to change the theme of the box itself here. So depending on what you want to do, you just pick your different colors, night mode, daytime mode, auto mode. I think you understand. We have Android screen mirroring. We have Apple AirPlay, which mirrors the screen of whatever's on your Apple device. Using the HDMI cable, I feel works better, but it still has it nonetheless. Music, Bluetooth music, video player, Amazon Prime we talked about. These here are your different options for SIM cards or virtual SIM or cloud SIM. So this just gives you an example of how to access that, reload your card, that type of thing. I mean, there's lots of apps on here. You can do a GPS test, see how strong the antenna is. I think it's actually pretty strong in my garage still. Yeah, so pretty good. Seeing lots of signal. We have our file explorer. So this will let us see different files that we have saved on the device or the SD card. SoundHound, which is another app. And then we have Waze, which is popular. Again, we have TikTok, and then we have our little customized split screen that we had set up. All in all, a very capable device and seems very speedy. I'm not disappointed at all. It's been a good experience. So after spending some time with the OneCarStereo HE Pro Ultra across multiple vehicles, here are some of my takeaways. So first, before you look at buying one of these, make sure your vehicle is compatible with wired CarPlay or Android Auto. The easiest way to check is simply plug in your iPhone or your Android phone and see if CarPlay or Android Auto starts. Just make sure if your phone was used in a wireless setup before, disable that first before trying this test. And if it loads up to CarPlay or Android Auto, then this should be compatible. If you want some advanced insight, you can go to Apple's website, check out their CarPlay compatibility section, and that's a good place to start. As for performance, the Qualcomm 6350 processor delivers fast, responsive performance that I would expect from a higher end CarPlay AI box. Apps launch quickly and navigating through the interface is quite smooth. Now, streaming will depend entirely on the quality of your internet connection. For me, using my phone's hotspot was the most reliable connection. A cloud SIM or a physical SIM might work better where you live, but where I live in rural Canada, my iPhone and its data plan was the clear winner. This HDMI input is one of my favorite additions. It's a feature that people have been asking for. Well, now it's here. Whether it's connecting your MacBook, Nintendo Switch, a gaming system, or any other device that outputs HDMI, this would be fantastic for road trips and keeping everybody entertained. As for the HDMI output, especially if you have secondary screens, I feel that this feature has become essential, making it easy to share content with all of the passengers. As for the DVR and the camera features, I think that they're great, nice little add-ons. I don't think they're a true replacement for a dedicated dash camera. Keep in mind, if you want to use it as a dash cam and record, that it's not going to record when you're parked. It's only going to record when the vehicle's on, and you want to go into the menu and make sure it's recording. So it might capture some important things. I think it's a nice to have, but again, not a replacement for a dedicated dash camera. And I think the baby cam's a thoughtful addition, especially if that's the scenario that you have. This might be good for you and your family. When it comes to overall connectivity, for me, the experience was good. Each time it was plugged in, it booted up no problem. Keep in mind, for some of you, you might have to use that additional Y cable I shown in the beginning of the video, just to make sure it gets that little extra power that it needs. Now keep in mind that this uses the same connection as your CarPlay or Android Auto, so it's going to use the same space that's already dedicated for CarPlay or Android Auto. It won't give you more and it won't give you less. It's going to use that same area designated for that feature. And every vehicle is going to be a little different. And because every vehicle is a little bit different, if you move this from one vehicle to the other, or even for the first time you use it, it might calibrate the screen, shut off once, restart, but that way it knows the settings that are needed to look proper on your screen. Everyday usability. I think that's where the HE Pro Ultra really shines. I love being able to move it from my truck to the wife's SUV to my sports car, and I just plug it in and it works. I don't have to modify anything. It's actually really great. Is it perfect? No, I don't think any of these devices are. It uses Android 15 for its operating system, still has some bugs here and there, but the free over-the-air updates I think helps. But after reviewing every AI box that OneCarStereo has released, I can confidently say that the HE Pro Ultra knocks the previous model off of the podium. So for me, as of today, the HE Pro Ultra is their best CarPlay AI box yet. If you'd like to learn more or check one out for yourself, I'll leave links in the video description below. Make sure to pay attention for any discount codes that might exist. And if you like today's video, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.